Hello, I'm Jocelyn Cocchi, and the tutorial I'd like to share with you today is for an early level study in rubato called Sunlight Through the Pines. It comes from a collection called Myriad Moments, which are 5 descriptive cameos for first and second grade piano if you're in Australia and New Zealand, second and third grade level if you're in Asia and the UK using the ABRSM system. And if you're in the US, they would be at late elementary and maybe into early intermediate level. So Sunlight Through the Pines is particularly well suited for adolescent and pre-adolescent children as it allows them the opportunity of complete freedom of expression, but only if they choose. They're also at liberty to play the music exactly as written, as there are no tempo or dynamic indications on the music, except for pianissimo mezzo piano at the beginning and pianissimo at the end. And the character indication says simply expressively and with rubato. So all of this allows the student to interpret the piece very much in whichever way they choose. I always play it through for the student first with lots of rubato while they are watching the score over my shoulder, so that they can get an idea of just how much freedom they actually can have with the music if they choose to. And if they don't choose to, once the notes are under their fingers, then I do encourage it a little at a time until they've been drawn out of their comfortable little nest of security with the written score. So I'll play it through now so that you can see what I mean. So, looking at the introductory section with the descending thirds, the student will first need to get the fingering secure and know where to start and when to stop, and ideally have this memorised before he or she can start to become more elastic with the timing. Once this is under control, then I would suggest that the student imagines a gust of wind emerging out of stillness and subsiding back into stillness, and that each little subsequent phrase after that is viewed as another little gust. So they're all a bit different, some of them are stronger than others. This probably seems contrary to the title of the piece, which is Sunlight Through the Pines and not Wind Through the Pines, but the effect, whether it's fractured light or gusting wind, I think will be the same. And the suggestion of gusting wind, I think, is easier to manifest in a concrete way when we're looking at something as complex as rubato. It's just more tangible. So, taking a step back and looking at the actual learning of the notes, this descending section here in the beginning, we've got the fingering 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, and this just repeats over and over. But when we get to the last one, then they've got another 4, 2, and thumb under. So this is why it's important that they memorise it, I think, so that they know they're very comfortable in where to start and where to stop, and they're not hindered by wondering where they're up to in the notes. Then they can be more elastic with the timing eventually. Now, aside from that, I think that they should be looking at all of the repetitions. I have my students colour the score, look for repetitions and patterns and colour the score before they even take it to the piano. So they would be looking to see what they see that's the same and what they see that's different. So the most obvious repetition will be this opening section, which repeats again in the recapitulation on the second page at bar 19. So that all happens again, so that's easy for them to recognise. It's an identical repetition. Apart from that, the end of the opening phrase, where it comes down, where the left hand comes in, the next phrase is the same material, but it just has a little introductory lead in. So that can be coloured, that the same as the tail end of the introductory section. And the following phrase and the phrase following that two totally different phrases, but they're repeated towards the end, but without coming to a complete close, one runs into the other. So that is so if your student is going through and looking for these patterns, they will find this and they'll be able to colour them two different colours for each individual phrase, and then have them, they'll see how they run together when they get towards the end there. If you're using colouring in this way to highlight your scores, use coloured pencils and soft colours, because then they are not vandalising the score as such, and they can be rubbed out. I think it's important that they can be rubbed out if the student makes a mistake. It allows them the freedom to have a try of analysing their music. Even if they don't get it right, then they can rub it out and have another go. They're not kind of locked in, which is puts a bit of a stimmy on it. It makes them afraid to experiment and to explore if they can't be free to make mistakes. So other repetitions. The B section, the middle section, is a repetitive section. The left hand is a little different. This first part has a stable left hand with the chords, and then when it repeats, it has a descending bass. So the student can perhaps consider that stable bass is maybe the light coming through the trees is stable, and maybe in the repeat where the bass descends, it sounds more like it's dying out. Maybe the light is fading. These are not thoughts that I had when I wrote this. These are only suggestions that I think that the student may consider when they're trying to memorise the patterns. So once all of the patterns and repetitions have been identified, coloured and isolated, the student has a clear roadmap then for approaching the learning of this piece. And once the notes and patterns are comfortably under their fingers, it's time then to think about what the music is trying to convey, and for the student to do what they can to bring that to fruition. Now, those same suggestions that were made for little gusts of wind can now be thought of as snatches of light filtering through the leaves of the trees. The concept's only a little different, but it can be applied in a similar fashion, and I think it's good for them to then move from something that's very tangible, such as the gusts of wind, to something that's less tangible, such as snatches of fractured light. That's a little harder for them to manifest, but if they've already tried to work through that with the gusts of wind, then I think they're ready to move on. Then if they've done it successfully, they're ready to move on then to thinking about light and applying that in a similar fashion. The only other thing probably left to mention in here is pedal. The pedal is crucial to this piece. It can't be played without pedal because it loses the whole ethereal sense of what it's trying to convey. It loses all its expression, I think, without pedal. But the pedal is clearly marked on the score. It's there. It's not difficult. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that it's given you a resource for not only expression and interpretation in your teaching, in the pieces that you have to use for that, but also for teaching rubato in your studio, and particularly for those teens for whom it's important for them to use rubato in expression, but they haven't tried it before, they're a little nervous about trying it, and this gives them a very low-key introduction where they can't really go wrong. So Sunlight Through the Pines and the Myriad Moments collection is available from Wirrapang at www.australiancomposers.com.au.